Reports coming out now of anti-government clashes in Libya's capital city of Tripoli in what has become the most serious challenge to Muammar Gaddafi's 42-year grip on power. Is Gaddafi going to be the next domino to fall in the unrest that's toppling leaders across the Arab world? Let's talk about it with Stephen Yates, former Deputy National Security Advisor to Vice President Dick Cheney. Stephen, first of all, what are American interests in Libya? If Gaddafi's government were to fall, what would be the ramifications for the U.S.?
Well, this is a country with which we have obviously not had good relations for most of our history of bilateral exchange. We've had in recent years a very significant strategic move in Libya giving up its nuclear weapons program. That was a very significant development in the last decade. Of course, it was strategically important that they had developed one to begin with, which was quite troubling. More broadly in the region, though, there are some differences between Libya and other parts of the Middle East where these uprisings are taking place. Libya is a more tribal area. It's a less developed country. It has a lot of petroleum, and so oil prices are going to be something people watch. But I think it's part of a broader signal that we can no longer take as a rule of thumb that we expect stability in this region. People are rising up at great risk to themselves, and these protests, especially in Libya in particular, have spread beyond the traditional bases like Benghazi in Libya, now are in the capital. This is a significant challenge to Gaddafi.
Yeah, talking about U.S. interests, though, there are reports that Gaddafi unleashed his own army's snipers against, individual protesters to try to tamp down the protests. How can the U.S. In any way support a government that would do such a thing?
I think it cannot, although I would remember, though, in 1989, we had the government in China, where we had a significant economic relationship that unleashed its military on its students in front of the world media. And within a few years, most governments around the world found a way to warm relations. And most recently, we had the leader of that country come to the United States for a state visit. It's morally repugnant to side with these regimes. And the circumstances of Libya, I think it's a bit more clear-cut that we should be able to side with these people. It's good that they seek to rise up and overthrow this dictator, and he is a dictator, one who's used brutal force many times in the past. And I think it's a difficult situation, but nonetheless one that we have no choice. There's going to be instability in this region. There's going to be instability in Libya. This leader has chosen to use his military against his people, and the military is obliged. That's different from Egypt.
But do you wind up potentially, Gaddafi's son said if the father's government falls, you wind up with civil war in Libya, and then could you end up with another Somalia, another state that essentially has no government but is wealthy with oil money in this case?
Well, I think we can't ignore that risk, but it appears that Libya is descending into civil war under current circumstances. And so I think that we just have to deal with the facts as they present themselves to us. We didn't start the civil war or the breakup of this country. I think after 40 years of his own rule, I think Muammar Gaddafi has contributed to this circumstance more than anyone else. I would hope that the leaders around the world, in Europe in particular, which is closer with Libya than America is, would play a more constructive role in being able to support the way forward there.
Stephen Yates served as Vice President Cheney's National Security Advisor. Stephen, thank you.
Thank you.